here. Not politically correct. Talk about Max Bernier. He worked hand in glove with the Canadian media to throw supply management and Canadian dairy and eggs under the bus to launch his solo career in the PPC party after losing his leadership race with the Conservatives, which he left like a butt-hurt sore loser. Very bad departure. Now, supply management exists in Canada because Canadian farms cannot compete with American farms. We have 3 months longer winter in Canada than they do in the States, which means putting up twice as much hay at $50 or $60 a round bale, and 300 round bales required to feed about 300 head of cattle for our winter. If you do the math, it's quite a chunk of money. Not only that, but Americans also pay 50% less tax than Canadians, and that was before the carbon tax. So without supply management, Canadian farms would not exist. Big dairy, big eggs. Now, the way they went about this, calling it the dairy cartel, they were definitely renting some bad press from the Mexican drug cartel, who deal in death and addiction, drug distribution. Canadian farmers are hardworking people. They deserve to be successful. Lots of people are pretty happy about the legalization of marijuana, and pot farming is probably pretty lucrative. Thing is, if you eliminate big farms, the people who actually produce the food in Canada, that means that you are now dependent on an outside source. And all that shipping would increase costs, especially with the carbon tax. So if Canadian dairy and eggs are decimated because of Maxime Bernier's desire to gut the dairy cartel, would prices be more competitive, or would it be just like Harley-Davidson, where you pay twice for Harley-Davidson in Canada as you would for the same bike in America? So this is very deceptive, and it's why I have no respect for Maxime Bernier. He has no respect for the entire farming industry of Canada. Are all farmers, big farmers, supposed to lose their livelihoods? I mean, supply management maybe could be tweaked, but I don't think we should throw out the baby with the bathwater. Now, the other thing is, Maxime Bernier makes some pretty bold claims about guns and gun laws in Canada, but when it came time to vote against Bill C-71 in Parliament, he was absent, missing in action. So actions speak louder than words, and Maxime Bernier is not a gun owner. So I believe he doesn't give a damn about you or your guns, if you're a gun owner, or your rights, or the laws. I believe he's just posturing to say anything to try and win as many seats as he can. And the reason he's doing this is the Canadian media, back in 2011 election, they ran this thing called Anything But Conservative, ABC. The whole point was to smear the Conservatives, and they did not want Stephen Harper Conservatives to win again. So, and what they wound up doing was getting Jack Layton NDP the biggest party growth they've ever had in the history of that party in Canada. And the Conservatives still won, but the Liberal Party didn't do so well in that election. They were nearly decimated. They were reduced to the lowest numbers in possibly the history of Canada, and it served them right because of their corruption. So the media, who hates Conservatives, and the media bias against Conservatives is dramatic and obvious. If you're not seeing it, you're not looking. Good example, a Conservative politician would have had their career ended over the Kokanee rope by the media. They would have torn him apart, like Mike Duffy, for example, who was cleared of all wrongdoing. Bev Oda, $16 glass of orange juice, political career ended by the mainstream media in Canada. Like I say, if you can't see the bias, it's because you don't want to see it, or you are completely indoctrinated and brainwashed by the media. But they think nothing of throwing farmers under the bus and linking with a butthurt sore loser, which Maxime Berneir is, to try and take votes away from Andrew Scheer Conservatives. Andrew Scheer is a gun owner. The Conservative Party is the first party in Canada to ever actually repeal a liberal gun law. And they could easily and potentially and realistically do that again. If you're a gun owner, there's only one way to vote. If you care about truth, there's only one way to vote. Conservatives are against carbon tax. They are against illegal border crossers. They want to fix immigration. And they want to lower taxes so that Canadians can afford to live. And they want to balance the budget because they don't balance themselves. And that's it for today.